Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. Move my microphone here a little bit. All right, welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is, what day is it? It is Thursday, September 30th, last day of September, 5:10 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. So finally, we're about to move into October, which supposedly is a greener, better month than September. I'll take it. And now we're well underway into Mercury retrograde. Are you feeling that? The Schumann resonance has been cranking recently, doing some strange things. Humanity's feeling kind of weird. But the one sanity that we have is Bitcoin. All right, so BitcoinDailyView.com, as always, got more for you there. Go check it out. I link to most of the things that I talk about. I link to this also, Gordon White, the Cyberpunk Endgame, the Dream of Control and Your Desire. This is a podcast called The Higher Side Chats. This guy's been around forever. He's created lots of content. And this is actually, if you dig this podcast, if you dig this, you're probably going to dig this. Check it out. I mean, we all need to remember to keep our minds in a groovy, creative, spiritual place in this time of global shitstorm. All right. The market's doing okay. Crypto market's looking pretty good. Some say it has to do with this. Futures fade, rally. Futures, screw it. Anyway, the government's not going to shut down as far as we know at the moment, and that's creating a little bit of positivity in the market, and that's a good thing. I'll take it. As if they ever were going to shut it down. What the Senate, Congress is going to go home? No, they're not. Those old friggin' skexy bastards are going to keep trying to destroy the world. They're not cutting off their funding. What a bunch of bullshit. Anyway, I suppose cryptocurrency is fundamentally aimed at reducing the power of a centralized government, and they don't like that, said Elon Musk. Who the crap knows who Elon Musk is? I did read his book, the book about him. I think it's very good. I think there's more to the guy than meets the eye. You know, anybody like him in his position is probably just surrounded by a globalist bubble and a lot of mind control. I don't know. He might not even be human as far as I know, but what he says does tend to have a lot of reach. A lot of people listen to him. And I think this statement is very bold. And even though it might just be lip speak, maybe it's controlled opposition, to say that is to get that dark eye, that glowing eye of Sauron on you, you know, and you're screwing with the masters of the universe. So I think it's a bold statement. And I have an intuitive feeling that he meant it. All right, even if he tweets other shit that just is a pain in the ass. Anyway, Verifone to enable crypto payments at major retailers through BitPay. BitPay, by far the crappiest fiat to crypto gateway card there is, tends to be making a lot of moves in the market recently. It's kind of like the old competition between VHS and Beta for like a home, you know, for a video. VHS won, but Beta was by far superior. Anyway, BitPay, I mean, like 1996 friggin' technology seems to be making waves. And, you know, Verifone is not small. This is a big deal. This is big adoption. I think this is a big, good stuff. I have a BitPay card. Maybe you should have one too. Not financial advice, entertainment purposes only, but it's going places. It will improve. It's integrating really, really quickly. I dig seeing this. Good to go. All right. Looking at the market today, mostly green so far, last hour that is. It's been a crazy ride overnight. That's why I'm up early. I couldn't sleep because, you know, just too much cosmic energy going on, too much cool stuff. The market's moving. I like it. Looking at the crypto market against Bitcoin, not quite as green, but we're seeing some things show up. BNB's just hanging in there. DOT's just hanging in there. Algo's been doing it. Litecoin, woo, gaining more than Bitcoin. That's insane. Anyway, I like it. Looking at spot trading last 24 hours on Binance, 18 billion last 24 hours, up 1.8 billion. That is, I'm sorry, 18 billion last 24 hours, up 1.89%. That's total crap. We have almost no retail volume in the market right now. We want to see at least 30 billion, if not 50 billion for a really rocking day. Where are you retail traders? What's going on? Looking at Binance. Once again, for futures trading, 57 billion last 24 hours, up 1.9%, pure crap volume. Then we look at Bitcoin itself. It was under 3 billion not too long ago. Now it's 3.2 billion in volume last 24 hours across the big exchanges. Only over 1 billion on Binance. This is crap. I don't know what's going on. There's really not much retail volume going on right now, but yet Bitcoin has been making some moves. So probably whales doing their thing. But still, we're seeing a more positive Bitcoin than we have recently, so I'll take it. Looking at longs versus shorts here, getting wrecked right around 3 a.m. here. We had 47 million in longs get wrecked and 1.3 in shorts. So people were definitely not expecting that dump that we had this evening or last evening or this morning or whatever. But check it out, daily chart. I like this. Yesterday we managed to stay above the 314 moving average on the daily chart. That's really nice. It does appear today we might be actually making a nice bounce off the 314 moving average. I like that. And big deal, big news of the day. The tangent for the daily MACD has turned positive. I like it. Let's look at this MACD explicitly, and let's look at the 12-hour chart. Yes, still very, very beautiful positive trend there. Let's look at the 4-hour. Yes, positive trend. Let's look at the 2-hour for immediate price action. Yes, positive. So it looks like we are seeing a positive trend for Bitcoin when we zoom out to the daily, and the shorter time frames do reflect that. When it comes to the MACD, I don't like to look smaller than a 2-hour time frame. It's a bit of a laggy indicator. It works great in the daily, and if you want to see the immediate price action, like the immediate direction of it, which way it's going to trend on the higher time frames, the 2-hour MACD is a great place to look. I think it has a lot of power. So the daily and the 2-hour, you can find a lot of enlightenment in there. So go check it out if you so desire. Looking at Bitcoin, okay, wait a second. Let's put this chart over here. Check it out. All right, Bitcoin 4-hour chart. Starting with the Fibonacci sequence back on July 20th, going up to the recent high that we had on September 6th. We're rocking along pretty good. As you can see, we've dumped below the 200 moving average. But check it out. We're basically wicking down and hanging out between the 0.5 fib and the 0.382 fib. So pretty fun. This is a good spot to be ranging. Really, once again, we bounced off the 0.5 again, and we're getting rejected by the 382. We'll see how that goes. In general, with the daily MACD and all the shorter time frames pointing positive, I'm tending to think that maybe we'll challenge this 382 pretty hard today or soon and maybe get above it. The 200 moving average is hanging out right about 46,500. If we can get there, then and make some support up there, and also like support above this 236 fib line, I think we're going to see some upwards mobility. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's dumpy. Yeah, we're in the red. It kind of sucks. I wish Bitcoin would find itself, get a little bit of self-confidence, and get back to the moon action. But we are, especially if we look here, you can see no big deal. We're at a very, very predictable fib level, and also that does represent previous support and resistance in the chart. So back at the 0.5 fib. And then once again, we bounced off that and we are challenging the 382. Let's see what happens. What I do like about this is it makes sense. I don't really mind dips in the market because it's just what happens, of course. What I do mind is when dips just are free falls and they don't make sense. This makes sense. If you ask me, here you go. I think my little prophecy here. I think whales right now, especially, we're not seeing any retail volume, but we are seeing this price action, as we can see. And you can see that I wish I hadn't done that. There we go. You can see this price action, and what I think, speculation, of course. I mean, take it for what it's worth. I think if we look, you've got the whales right now. Looking at the retail volume, which is not very high, I believe that we're seeing whales dump it, buy that thing, then dump it, buy that shit. Oh, here you go. Yeah, dump it, buy that stuff. Oh yeah, okay, guys, ready? Conference call. All right. Dump it, yeah, buy. So they are basically, the whales are, especially with no retail volume right now, the whales are buying the crap out of it right here, So anyway, what would my, like Hail Mary kind of limit order that I want to have in for Bitcoin just in case it hits 41,104. So I'd go to about 41,200. If they dump it again, well, boom, that's probably where you can pick it up. There you go. That's unsolicited advice, not financial advice, just my take on it. That's where my limit order is, because I think that's where the whales are playing with stuff. And why I hate the whales, just look at what they're doing. I mean, the whales are showing you this is what's happening. They have this ranging again, which we did for weeks and weeks, like 2 months, I think, a while ago, between like 30 and 40,000. Now we're ranging between 41 and 43. Just think like the whale, look at what they're doing and make some money. Boom, there you go. If you're really, really super creative and crazy, you can start shorting the top. But that takes Ted Nugent and Genghis Khan like balls. So I personally don't do it. I'm not cut from that cloth. All right, Bitcoin versus USDT once again. 45-minute chart last night. We rocketed past the 200 and the 314 moving average, getting ourselves a purple, a little blue square merit badge. And we came back down and we basically have, I think we can look at these little wicks here. I think we found support above the moving average. We're moving up once again. These indicators are good. I think we're going to see some nice action. The direction of the next stayed in the green. It pumped, it trailed off a little bit, but now it's turning back into the green. ADX will probably turn up also. ADX is still in a good spot. KRI is looking great. Stochastic RSI shows we're at the bottom. We are definitely oversold. Time to start buying. Wave chain oscillator by Lazy Bear showing an upwards tangent. So within the sweet ass buy zone here in the middle. So with that said, I think we're looking at some upwards movement. It looks like Bitcoin is making a move. I like this. So I hope everybody has a little bit of profit rolling, and this is not a bad spot. I'm not going to give you financial advice. I can, of course, but this is not a bad spot to buy. And this indicator here, you see, this is kind of like squigglies on the top and the bottom. That's called RSI cave. Now, this is a very, very super tuned one. That's a little bit proprietary to blockchain education, so I can't share that with you. But if you go to, and I'll link to it over at Bitcoin Daily View because people are asking about it. It's called RSI cave. It's an indicator. You can tune it and you can get it to look like this. But basically, it shows the propensity, like based on RSI, basically how far you can go down and how far you can go up. And it's kind of like a Bollinger Bands, but not exactly. So I find it to be very, very useful. Simply look at some different time frames, look at how it works, and it's kind of self-explanatory. To me, it's a very good, very intuitive operation here. As you can see, we hit the top of it, and we found resistance at the top of the RSI cave, and now we're going to challenge it again. Here's the bottom right there. We hit the bottom of it, and now we're moving up. So I think it's an insanely powerful indicator. RSI cave, check it out on TradingView. You'll be glad you did. It's like when you're using it, it's like a monster truck race. You might pay for a whole seat, but you'll only need the edge when you're using the RSI cave. It's true. Ethereum versus USDT, 45-minute chart, doing exactly what Bitcoin is doing. Exactly what Bitcoin is doing. So no need to really look at it too close. The one thing that is happening is it got its ass handed to it as Bitcoin did outgain it, it appears, but it's beginning to make a move here. Indicators look like that definitely could happen. I think it's going to challenge that 200 moving average and probably break through it again, maybe get another blue diamond merit badge. I'm really hoping that Ethereum starts moving. I do think it will outgain percent-wise if Bitcoin starts moving up. So I'm always watching for that sweet-ass sat-making Ethereum versus BTC swing, but it ain't ready yet. All right, looking at Sol versus USDT. Of course, not too long ago, people were making a lot of money on this one, but recently they certainly have not been. Although what I can say is check it out. When you get these beautiful, glorious downtrends that last a while, of course, you get these little challenges of the 200 moving average. It starts to try to make it. Well, we just had another one. So let's see how it does. Indicators look like we could see a bit of a run here. So we'll just watch it. The tighter the RSI squeezes, the RSI cave squeezes, usually the more of a powerful breakout you'll get one way or the other, I find, oftentimes towards the positive. So let's just see what happens. Sol versus USDT. It's really fighting that 200 moving average for quite a while. It's fighting it right now. Your guess is as good as mine, but I do think Sol is, especially with the NFT market right now and Sol being an affordable way for NFTs to work, and I think it is a growing ecosystem. I don't see it staying down for long, especially with the blockchain issues that had it. It's understandable that it kind of dumped, but I just don't see Sol something that should be doing a downwards trend right now. It's only probably because of the volatility of Bitcoin and the blockchain issue they had. So watch Sol for some serious moon action once it starts moving. Matic versus USDT last night broke above the 200 and 314 moving average, getting a blue merit badge. Came down to the 200, found support. Now it's moving back up. It may range between the 200 and 314 for a bit, but these indicators look good. It has had a nice, beautiful, gradual cool off for a while. It was, moving hard for a while, as we all know. And you can see, if you look like a 4-hour chart, it shows a bit more. You can definitely see where, and also, what we could do, let's just do this. I think it has value. Let's just do a fib from here to a recent high to where it's at right now. And we're seeing a 618. Look at that. That's damn glorious. So it pumped like crazy. It got too crazy. You can see it does respect these fib areas right here. It tried to get some support by that dot 5 fib, and it could not do it, but it's finding support on that 618. It's right between the higher and the low, the high and the low of the RSI cave. It's beginning to move up a little bit. These indicators are not looking too bad. So as you can see right here, very important one, directional index is beginning to get this over here. Look at this. It is beginning to trend toward, it's been trending towards the positive. So I think we're seeing some good action. So anyway, Matic, I guess it's also known as Poly. I forget. Anyway, but this is groovy. Keep an eye on it. Matic versus USD. It will probably run against, Bitcoin too. It'll probably outgain that if it starts moving. So EGLD, LROD, weirdest name I've ever heard for a crypto. It did not react to the recent volatility that much. It did not get above the 200 moving average. It still kind of continues going down. Indicators look it could turn around. It has, if we look at the big picture, it has been quite the moneymaker recently, but it's been cooling off pretty hard. But as you can see, it's doing what makes sense, up or down. When a chart makes sense, I like it. So it is basically just challenging that 200 over and over again on the 4-hour chart, but it's staying above it. So let's see what happens on the 4-hour chart. It looks like, definitely looking at the 4-hour chart, lazy bears electron oscillator is a very, very powerful thing. It's really kind of struggling right here, but it looks like it might be finding a spot to move up. So directional index does reflect. We're seeing a bit of a anyway. With that said, I won't belabor it, but Matic versus, EGLD, LROD versus USDT. Let's see if we can get a bounce. This thing could start moving up, and if it even got back to all-time high, well, recent all-time highs, if we can even, realize that once again, if you find a good place to enter, if you got a nice 200 moving average bounce here and you had your confidence, that could be like 38%, an easy 30% if this thing starts moving. So just keep that in mind. Powerful coin. All right. Been doing great, but it's cooling off. PPT right now, it made a nice break above the 200 and 314 moving average. It tried to get above it once again, couldn't do it. Now it's riding that 200 moving average. The indicators look like a little bit indecisive, but definitely could start moving up. I like coins that have had this beautiful gradual downtrend and then begin to push. It's these ones like PPT right now. This actually was a tip that came from Jonathan Regan over at Blockchain Education. Let's see if I can get this thing to refresh to a 4-hour so you can see it a little bit more clearly, but it seems like it does not want to. So we'll go back to it. DYDX, USDT, this thing's been making money like crazy recently. It has a little bit of cool-off period. Looks like it's about time for it to start turning up once again. Watch this one closely. DYDX, USDT, above the 200 moving average, staying strong during Bitcoin's recent volatility. I think we're looking at something pretty powerful here. So keep an eye on that. I'm also keeping an eye on DYDX against Bitcoin. I wouldn't mind making that trade. It's been cooling off recently. I could see an uptrend starting, so I'm just kind of watching that. If some volume comes in, definitely has room to move up. Doge versus USDT. I like it looking at the 15-minute chart. This thing has been struggling with the 200 moving average forever. If we look at let's look at a 4-hour chart. And while that one refreshes, let's look at PPT just does not want to do a 4-hour chart. Weird. Okay. Anyway, let's look at a 4-hour chart for Doge versus USDT. As you can see, let's actually do this. Wow, you can definitely see where this thing was making money like crazy, tried to hold it, but has really lost it. Bitcoin's volatility, etc., really has been a hardship for it. You can see previous support resistance where it is right now. So let's do this real quick. I'm not going to do the fib from here. I'm going to do it from here because we see a lot of support and resistance right there, and this definitely was a powerful move up. Let's go from the top to the bottom to the top. Let's check it out. Where are we right now? Yeah, it's pretty much, from the recent massive pump that we had on the 4-hour chart and the nasty fall off, you can see we're pretty much back at the bottom. So that's something to look at. Also, if we look at Doge versus BTC, might be an interesting one to check out. How's it looking that way? So Doge versus BTC. Wow, not too much love there. Anyway, but still, it does look, if we look at previous support, well, previous places where it's bounced, if we go back far enough, it does look like possibly if you are if you do purchase Doge with BTC, we're under 500 sats right now, and that does seem to be a pretty darn, kind of a bottom recently. for sure. For let's look at a 12 hours. Let's just see. Are we kind of at a bottom? Well, actually, you know what? Let's just do this on the 12. Let's do a daily chart for Doge versus BTC, and let's just make this big enough to see. Spread it out a little bit, and then just do a big fib here. And if we look, yeah, you know, it's kind of like trying to hold above that 618 fib, but if not, it's probably going to go to the 786. So anyway, it's below the 200 moving average, but it is, you know, a daily 314 bounce could be in the works, and that would be at like 466 sats. So anyway, you know, just taking a look at it, Doge versus me. If Doge starts moving, it is explosive. You know, if Elon posts, you know, a picture of himself, you know, petting a Shiba Inu or something like that, you know, that's going to be a pretty positive thing. So anyway, you know, watch this thing here. We'll keep an eye on it. Doge. I'd love to see Doge kind of find itself again and start moving. With that said, everybody, remember, actually, before we go, let's look at Bitcoin one more time on the short time frame. 45 minutes. It's still continuing to push up. About to see a positive stochastic RSI cross. It's already, the tangent's looking good. 45-minute chart's looking good. 4-hour looking chart is looking good. Only thing I would mention is maybe the whales have accumulated where they want to accumulate. If we're going to keep ranging, this is just something to watch. I think this has value. Is that okay? Let's look at this a little bit closer. Let's zoom in since we know what we're looking at. Okay, let's zoom in this thing. If this is going to be our range right now, all right, it would not surprise me. Let's just watch. We could come back down to 41,000. So I'm just kind of watching. We'll see. Before I'm going to start hedging back in with some USDT, USDC, before I really start to you know, buy for a further upwards movement of Bitcoin, I'm going to wait till we actually get above this, out of this range, and start moving up and really challenging this 4-hour 200 moving average. But it looks like we very well might happen, especially if we can find support. Well, we already have found support above the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart. So that's pretty darn hopeful. I like that. And then let's look at the 2-hour chart. Does not get all the love it should in this world because it's actually a pretty darn powerful time frame. Not above the 200 moving average there yet. So that's one to watch too. Well, anyway, Bitcoin looking perky this morning. Let's see how it goes. Like I say, I don't want to belabor this. I know you guys want to get going, but really watch this range, 41,000 to 44,000, basically. Watch that range, and let's see if the whales start playing in that range. Because when you look at this volatility here, with so little retail trading volume, I think that's kind of whale action. And if they're playing this, then play it too. I'm not going to short right now, but if it does come back to the bottom and we see the indicators turn up, I'll definitely get in, but I'll be looking to sell back here at the top, or I'll have my trailing take profit in case we don't break above that 382 and start moving up towards glory and a better world and a peaceful revolution. Because remember, for every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, a piece of shit globalist banker cries. Take care.